Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is episode 2nd on language education. Today my topic is on language, nature, meaning and function. Well, language is the divine gift of God only to the man. This language is an essential part of human life. Language as a means of communication which brings the people of different culture and communities closer. It helps a person in the development of his personality. It is essential for the language teacher to understand the concept of language, teaching and learning because its nature is quite different. Teaching is an art and learning is a science. That's why it is very much needed to understand the concept of language for a language teacher. Literally, the word language derived from a Latin word lingua, which means tongue. It is a kind of conventional arrangement, specific form of speech that evolved over a period of time. In the word of John Dewey, we can see that language exists only when it is listened as well as spoken. And in the word of Swedes, it is a language which reveals our ideas and feelings through meaningful sounds of word. According to the definitions, it becomes clear that language is used to give expressions to thoughts and feelings of social group. Now come to the nature of language. Following are the nature of language. First is language is learned. Learning of language is not instinctive or an automatic process. It requires much efforts. It is not a type of behavior like walking, sitting, which are quite natural, but language learning requires specific efforts. It is acquired by conscious efforts. Second nature, language is a system. It is a complex whole like the human body. The system of human body functions through different organs such as the heart, lungs, brain, ears, and eyes. These various organs are interconnected and work in coordination. Similarly, the system of a language functions through its sounds, words, and its structure. Language is a system of systems as a third nature. It is a system that involves sound, phonology, words, and structure. These different elements functions in coordination. Fourthly, language is a system of symbols. Every word, phrase, or sentence represents some object or idea. The language functions effectively when the symbols used are known to both the speaker and the listener, the writer and the reader. Symbols have sounds and meanings. The language functions through the symbols if meanings are attached to them. Next, the symbols of language are arbitrary. By this word arbitrary symbols, it means that there is no visual relationship between the word and the object it stands for. Let us take the example of word fan, F-A-N, fan. We have not named it so as a fan on the basis of some logic or scientific principles. In English, we say it as a fan. But in Hindi, we say pankha. Actually, we call a fan because when the language was originated, people agreed to use it in that sense. Thus, there is no visual relationship between the word and the object it stands for. Next is language is unique. Each language is unique because it has its own style of functioning. The sounds, vocabulary, and structure of every language have their own speciality. there are geographical, cultural diversities, and that is the main reason why language differs from the other. Second nature is language is communication. In the word of Ben Johnson's, speech is the instrument of society. Is only through language we can pass on our ideas to others. Without language, we shall not able to express ourselves. Last but not the least, language is ever-changing process. Change is the law of nature. No language on this earth is static. Every language is undergoing a change with the passage of time. Language change in all their aspects, in their pronunciation, word forms, syntax, and word meanings. These changes are mostly very gradually in their operation. Thus, we can say that language is never static. It undergoes changes with the passage of the time. Now come to the functions of language. There are so many functions of language, but I brought only 4 functions of language here. First is expressive, informative, communicative, and directive. Expressive functions. Language helps in the process of expressions between two individuals. Each and every individual has some feelings, emotions, ideas, and he or she wants to give an outlet to those experiences of life. It is a language helps an individual to bring out his feelings. Informative function. In the absence of language, passing on the informations will become a difficult task. The storehouse of knowledge being passed to the next generation through books or other media is the informative functions of language. Communicative function. Sharing of ideas in a society is called communication. For communications, language is the first requirement. Without proper and appropriate language, the communications may not be a meaningful one. Lastly, directive function. Directive functions. Language is a meaning. It is a means of giving directions to other. It is used to cause or to prevent actions when a teacher asks the student to sit quietly, or when a major in the army asks his soldiers to march ahead. The intention is not to communicate information or to evoke a particular emotion, but to cause action of the indicated type. So thank you all for your kind hearing. Thank you so much. Thank you all once again.